less than a month, but if they are done, then I would want to do that.
The boxes are here on my front step.
And like my reaction to that.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Also saves you tons of time because you can schedule.
And how can I turn this into a career so that I can live every day like a life that I'm excited about and do a job that I love.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. So I'm Hannah, I am a college business owner, and today's video is a business breakdown. I had plans on creating kind of 3 more videos in this series, but from just looking at feedback, seeing those videos not perform as well as like my college-based videos, I decided that I was going to do 1 more video for this series, just try to cover as much as possible, and then answering specific questions of yours in the comments. So today I'm going to be breaking down the final kind of leg of the setup for your business, which is figuring out pricing. I hear that so much in finance. Cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. And then I had one of my friends who's starting a business like write down a bunch of questions she had just about marketing, manufacturing, management, all the tools. If you're interested in videos like these, don't worry, I'm still going to be posting updates like about my business, decisions I'm making, that kind of thing. But as for this how to be an entrepreneur, how to start a business in 2020 series, this is going to be the last video. All right, first we're going to get started on product-based businesses, which means it's a physical good. Like this book right here, my workbook, you have a product. So first you have to figure out, where are you going to get this made? Is it something handmade by you? Like, do you make your own jewelry? Do you make your own candle? Is it made by a manufacturer? Or figure out, if it's made by a manufacturer, how are you getting it to your customer? Are you going to drop ship it, which basically means you don't hold the inventory yourself. It's shipped from the manufacturer or a fulfillment center to the customer. And if you're interested in that, you can just look up drop shipping, and there's so much about it. Or is the manufacturer going to send it to you and you ship out the inventory personally? That's what I do with my workbooks. So answering the question of how do you find a manufacturer, it of course depends on your industry. For a lot of you guys, you'll be able to find the products that you want to make on Alibaba.com, and that is who I work through for my products mainly as of now. So a lot of them are based in China or overseas. They're all overseas, and Alibaba is a safe website. You just need to make sure all of your communication is through the website, but it's basically where you can find people making your products. You can buy them how they're already made. You can ask for customizations. Usually if you're doing something with customizations, like for me, I customized the entire workbook myself. All they had were like the linen samples I could use for the cover and the paper types and the ink types, and I gave them everything else to kind of customize my workbook how I wanted it. You just are going to have a minimum order quantity, which is MOQ. So if they ask for an MOQ, that's a minimum order quantity. So like for me, I had to order a certain amount of workbooks, like over 100, obviously, to be able to get them customized and to bring down the cost. So whatever the cost is for you to make your product, that's your COGS, which is cost of goods sold. And so basically, let's say you're making a candle in your room. The price of the wax, the packaging, your labor, you kind of need to calculate all of that. And there's lots of tools online that can help you. Just search how to determine my cost of goods per unit. And then you can break it down to say you use, I don't know, a couple ounces of wax. How much is that in cents? So maybe that's like 20 cents. So you add that to your cost of goods. If you were paying yourself $10 an hour and it takes you half an hour to make this item, then you would put $5 towards that candle for labor. And so that's kind of how you're going to figure out how much the actual good is going to cost you to make. And then you mark it up from there. So obviously the price you sell it for needs to be greater than how much it costs for you to make it. And how I figure that out is just looking at the industry. So look at other candle sellers in your niche. Don't look at Anthropologie, but look at others on Etsy or other, small business candle makers and see what they're charging, and then base your prices off of that. Prices or the other costs you're going to want to manage in your business are your fixed costs and your variable costs. So fixed costs are things that don't change depending on how many products you sell, how many units you sell. So that's things like website hosting, the equipment it takes you to make that candle, things that aren't specific to one unit. Meanwhile, variable costs would be like the shipping, the labor, the materials, all the things I just mentioned that kind of go into your cost of goods sold. Keep in mind your fixed costs and your variable costs, and that's how you price a product. For the product-based businesses, of course, you also have to ship too if you're fulfilling the orders yourself. So I would look first usually for small business, the best option is to use USPS, so just priority mail or flat rate boxes. Do the calculations for your weight, your size of your product. You can probably take it in and talk to someone at the post office and figure out what form of shipping is going to be best. If you're offering free shipping, then you need to make sure that you're calculating that in your cost of goods. Let's say it costs $7 to ship, okay, and you're paying that, the customer's not paying that, then you need to add that into your cost of goods. For me, I partly pay the shipping and my customer partly pays the shipping, so I split it up. And then also for discounts, if you're going to have consistent discounts, make sure this is a mistake I made starting out. I did not calculate the idea of having a discount into my margins. So say you're going to want to have 20% off frequently, or you always want to give first customers 10% off. You need to make sure you mark up your product a little bit to the point to where if you give someone a discount, it's not cutting into you're not dipping below what it costs you. So if it costs you $7 to make this candle, you charge 10, but then you want to give a 50% off discount, obviously then you're losing money on that purchase. So make sure that doesn't happen. For service-based businesses, it's a bit different. You don't really know, let's say you're doing consulting or a course, or let's just go with guitar lessons. It's not like you're giving them a guitar, so it's not like you have a cost of the guitar in your lesson. It's more of like your time and your knowledge that you have to put a price on. So my tip for this is just to look in your industry, see what people around the same experience level are charging, see what people above you are charging in experience level, and then figure out what makes it worth your time. Ways to schedule your payment options for a service-based business. I did used to do YouTube consulting, which is a service-based business, so I have a little bit of experience in both, but you can use the websites Squarespace and Wix. Both have booking options in their template, so when you're like designing your website, you can add in the option to have people book. It is, I think, an extra fee for that, but you can do that. Or you can use scheduling through Calendly, which again, I think you have to pay a monthly fee, but may be like under $20 a month. So you can use Calendly to help people easily schedule their appointments, their consultations, whatever you're selling. And of course, also you can just get their email and send them an invoice through PayPal, or you can have them use Venmo. But I think using a scheduling service like through Squarespace, Wix, or Calendly is just going to look a lot more professional. How much capital/income should one be spending on manufacturing? So again, it's going to depend on your product, but for product-based businesses, the majority of your costs starting out are probably going to be on your product, like on the cost of goods, on the manufacturing. So just know, my recommendation for this is just know what your break-even point is. So if you have to sell 500 candles in the next year to break even, think to yourself, okay, can I realistically see myself selling 500 candles this year? If not, if I don't sell 500, I'm going to lose money, or I'm not going to make any money till I sell 500. So make sure that the amount of money you're putting in, you can make back in a reasonable amount of time. What design platforms do you use and recommend when designing the product? For the workbook, I used Photoshop and InDesign. I think Photoshop is great for anything that you have to do with like logos or graphics. That's probably what I would recommend. And they do have a student discount. So I pay $20-something a month. No, maybe it's like $31 a month, but I get access to all Adobe products. Resources to learn about business. Obviously here on my YouTube channel, I'm pretty open about my business and what I'm doing. I hope to do that more if you guys want. I listen to podcasts, read a ton of books. I'll have my Amazon shop page below. It's always below actually, where you can read and check out the books that I'm reading currently to help my business. Resources to organize and self-manage your business. This is one of the hardest parts about starting a business, especially if you're young or if you're older, you have a job, you have kids, that's a lot of obligations. As a student, you have a lot of obligations and things that you could be spending your time on besides working on a business. And so it has to be something you really want to do. And then I think figuring out just how much time you have in your day and how much you can work on your business every day or every week. Of course, I recommend the Dream Achieve workbook. This was set up for people like me who are wanting to do so many things in a day and have so many, you know, want to do side hustle, want to do all the school. And so like my strategy in here that I walk you through is going to allow you to do just that. So if you need some help managing your time, managing your business along with other priorities, then definitely check it out. Link below. How to build a simple business plan. Most businesses start without having a business plan. I am currently 8 months after launching, working on my business plan for my business. But I think first figuring out what your mission is. So this is just like very basic. Most business plans are like 20 plus pages, but very simple business plan. This is what I feel like you need just to get an idea of your strategy. So what's your mission? Like, what are you providing for your customers or your clients, how you're providing that. So is it through products? Is it through workshops? Is it through Instagram? Is it through, how are you providing that mission? And then do a SWOT analysis. So if you look up a SWOT analysis on Google, you'll find lots of examples. It's basically realizing what your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are for your business. So take some time. It's hard to do, but if you can figure that out. Threats in that SWOT analysis will also bring you your competitors. So doing a competitor analysis, I think, would also be important. Just seeing who else is out there and what are they doing. And then the most important part is figuring out what sets you apart from your competitors. And then I would figure out just like a marketing strategy, which I will talk about in a second. And then your financials, you can just do a basic cost of goods sold. This is how many goods I need to sell in a month to cover my expenses, my fixed costs, and my variable costs. Just simple, keeping track of your costs and how much it costs you to make the product, and then how much you're selling. And then your vision at the end. You know, where do you want to go in 5 years, in 1 year, in 10 years? Figuring out a realistic but big vision for your company, I think, is a great way to stay motivated for the little day-to-day tasks like responding to emails, but is not fun. But this vision I have for my business in the end is fun. And that's what I think about when I'm having to do the nitty-gritty daily details. All right, 5 apps or websites that help me run my business. One is Shopify. That's who I use to have my storefront e-commerce site. MailChimp is what I use for email marketing. ShipStation is what I use to help fulfill and print my shipping labels. Google Docs and just the whole Google suite is what I use. I use Google Docs and Sheets and slides to manage all of those aspects of the business. And then I use Canva.com for graphics that are just like Instagram or website graphics. I use Photoshop for more product related things, like the actual product. So it's a little bit top quality, but Canva is great for just social media purposes. Speaking of social media marketing, what's the best social media platform to promote on? The best one is wherever your customers are. If your customers are 13 to 18, maybe TikTok or Snapchat. If your customers are 18 to 25, 30, maybe Instagram. If they're older, maybe Facebook. Figure out where your customers are and show up there, and start with one place and then eventually add on. But start with one because it can get overwhelming. All right, so I think when everyone thinks of marketing, they think of just marketing online, but on social media, but there are so many other ways you can market your good. A marketing strategy to kind of explain this is the funnel technique. So down at the bottom of the funnel is your product. This is the person checking out, putting in their credit card or debit card information and purchasing your product. At the top, and then as we go up, the funnel gets bigger, obviously. Up here are all the places you're showing up. This is like your marketing basics. So like maybe it's Instagram, maybe it's a YouTube video, maybe it's a podcast that you're on. Other besides online are like, you could do events, you can do trade shows, you can reach out to retailers, all these things up here. And then slowly as they get down, maybe like here in the tunnel is your personal Instagram that they find. And that brings them to your website. And then your website, brings you to your about page on your website. And then from there, they maybe go to the product page, and from product page, they click add to cart, and then they're in the cart, and then they check out. So marketing is everywhere. It's not just Facebook ads and Instagram posts. It's signs, it's posters, it's word of mouth, it's video, it's trade shows. It could be anything. All right, so those are the questions I think are going to be most helpful. I know that's a lot, especially if you're starting out, but like I said, I want the comment section below to be a community, to be a chat room, and I will do my best to answer you guys as quickly as possible on any questions you have maybe specifically for your business. Hopefully these glasses weren't annoying the whole time, but I will link the other 2 videos, which I do think are helpful for this, down below. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you guys want to know about business, because if there's more specific things, I'd love to make videos on them. But the census I've heard is that people want more college and lifestyle content rather than business. But for those who want business, I'm still going to upload every now and then, just not as often as those other ones. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye. Peace out.